get started, we do have a member of City Council here, Shamus Malik. I think this is your ward also too, so thanks for coming down today. Thanks for allowing me to, first I got a chance to see another one of these headworks projects being built. It was kind of virtually, Baltimore is doing one, or they're at the end of one, and it is massive. It's about an $800 million project for the number that they have to do. We always knew there wasn't going to be thousands of people to come to this press conference because it doesn't attract. We care about this a lot, and like Chris said, when you talk about, even 6 years ago, even though the process has been going on, I think Pat Selman and many of you in the engineering department have been working on this since your career started a long time ago to be able to do this. And I remember Dave Crandall telling me back in 2000, hey, you're going to have a problem with CSOs, and I didn't even know what it meant, let alone the problem that we would have with being able to do that. And even coming into office, and Chris talking about the meetings with the EPA, both state and federal, our law department and the engineering bureau, believe me, we have pushed them a lot into saying, and I kind of liken it like this, because I think it's a great story to tell. There are smart people on both sides, and if we give you better data to have a more affordable solution, because this project definitely is not equitable. Across the country, it is not. But there's also a federal consent decree that says you either do these things or this is going to happen. So we have pushed hard to find a better solution and a less expensive solution while also providing better treatment. I think that's been the overall goal. I'm extremely proud of our team, both finance, both law, service, and engineering, in driving and be able to get to this. And the analogy that they're literally performing surgery on themselves while they're keeping the plant operating and increasing capacity. That is significantly difficult for a lot of people to understand, because if you look at utilities, you look at the light switch, you want to turn it on. And when it doesn't turn on, that's when you're going to have a complaint. You want to turn the water on, you want to make sure it's clean and safe, you want to flush your toilet, make sure that it goes. If it doesn't, that's when the complaint comes. To manage this type of operation, to be able to deliver the water and to be able to clean that and clean the river at the same time, to me, that is worthy of more than an award. It is worthy of, I think, a thanks from the community and a thanks from me for all the hard work over the last, I would say, 20 some odd years, if not more. And I think a round of applause needs to go to that staff. I've completely blew through my remarks, but that's okay. What I didn't talk about, and I think what Chris maybe touched on a little bit, was it's also come at a significant cost to our customers. That is something that we look at on a daily basis of how do we make these utilities the most affordable. And there's been a driving factor, I know with City Council and I know with our staff, is how do we make this more affordable. We don't want to necessarily have more people in the Akron Cares program, we want to make the program more affordable. But overarching is that consent decree to be able to get this done. It's almost 90% done. I can't believe we have a project that is probably going to be close to $1 billion at some particular point, and literally it is all underground. And it is to protect those utilities that we manage on a daily basis, but it's also to protect the river. And if you look at, I remember growing up and coming down here, and those of you that have been around long enough, the valley never really had that great of a smell. In fact, I think it has a controlling board that manages smells. I haven't heard of a complaint in at least 10 years about that. This community and this region put a significant amount of money to be able to make sure that this is a livable space. And look at the asset in the national park and the metro park. So in doing that, you can't overstate the importance of the investment that this community made to say, in 1969, after a number of fires, it goes from one of the worst rivers in the country to one of the best in being declared River of the Year too. That's an investment and it costs money, and I'm proud of this community for stepping up and being able to do that. But as we continue to try to drive down that project and drive down the cost, I certainly look forward to the day where we don't have press conferences talking about all of these things. But if you look at the massive amount of infrastructure that we have been able to put in to treat so it doesn't make it to the river, it is significant. And you never want the perfect to be the enemy of the good. And at some particular point, we'll be at 99% capture, if I'm not correct. 99% is pretty good. That's an A+ on anybody's test. And getting all of the relevant authorities to be able to say, what, that is excellent. You guys are a model for how we should be continuing to move forward. Because there's about 700 consent decrees across the country. Ours happens to be probably the most stringent of any consent decree over any city. But I'm proud of this team for being able to drive down the cost and get projects done on time. that makes accounting happy too. That makes everybody happy to be able to get these projects done on time and on budget. So thank you for that part of it. The mission, I know, of Akron Waterways is always to invest in our environmental future as it continues to highlight, both on the federal and local level, and to build that infrastructure. And like Chris said, this is an investment for the next 2 and 3 and 4 or 5 generations. We all happen to be paying for industrial policy from the last 150 years. And I think we've caught up extremely well in this community to be able to do it. The completion of this facility helps us to continue further that mission for the citizens of Akron and the surrounding communities. So thank you all for being here today. I know I droned on a little bit, but I appreciate all your attendance. Thanks again.